Hi, my name's Haesley Cush, and I want to give you an update as to the changes due to COVID-19 for you, our landlords. Feels like it's been months since I sent you our last message. I did send you a small little market snapshot with your statement about a week ago, but I've been waiting for the announcement, and this announcement's just come out from the state government within the hour. I don't have all the answers for you, but I want to bring you as much information as I can that's as up to date as I can. So Jackie Trad and Housing Minister Nick de Bruer came out today with the announcement. Now, the Prime Minister over the last month has said that they wanted a 6-month period where tenants couldn't be evicted from their properties if they've been affected by COVID-19. And there's been lots of pushing from the real estate institutes and the franchise groups around this. So here is the information as it came out today. So again, this is just as I understand it. So the legislation that they're going to write is for the protections they've said for landlords, for tenants, and for agents. I've seen lots of protection for tenants. There has been some incentives there for landlords, which I'll come to. The main incentive that I've seen for landlords is a waiving of land tax for 3 months and a deferring of land tax for 3 months. Now, you can jump on the Office of State Revenue, the OSR website, and see what your entitlement is. They've said as of today, the hotline will not be set up and open until Easter Tuesday, so next Tuesday. And that's where you can find out. So if you pay land tax on your investment properties, you'll get a 3-month waiver and a 3-month deferral. So 6 months total, but only 3 months saving, 3 months deferring. What they have come out is they've said that from the 29th of the 3rd of 2020, so the 29th of March, a tenant cannot be evicted due to hardship caused by COVID-19. So here is the announcements that he made. The first one was with regard to these evictions. So you can still evict a tenant if there is a serious breach with regard to the property, as long as it's not related to COVID-19, okay? So excessive damage, other sorts of breaches they can do. Tenants need to be able to demonstrate that they have lost income and are unable to pay some, all, or a part of their rent. So they need to be able to demonstrate that. They have thirdly come out and said that if a tenant's lease expires during this COVID-19 period, so they haven't defined the period, but we're assuming it's 6 months, the lease must be extended for a further 6 months. Now, we've pushed back for some clarity. Does that mean that the tenant also can't leave? We don't have an answer for that at this point, but they've said that if a tenant's lease expires, you can't get them to leave just at the end of that. You do need to offer them another 6-month lease. We're going to find out whether the tenant needs to engage with that. We'll come to you with an answer. And that's they're saying because they don't want tenants and people moving around. Tenants will need to demonstrate the impacts and owners or agents on behalf of owners need to engage in good faith negotiations. So tenant steps forward, this is how I understand it, and says, look, I've lost my job or my wages, my hours have been cut, I can't pay my rent. We need to engage with them in a good faith negotiation. Now, if we can't get a good faith deal done, then we go to conciliation. Now, conciliation has been around for a long time, but they've increased their jurisdiction with regard to this, and they're calling it a compulsory hub. And the website around the compulsory hub, we've checked it today, didn't have a lot of good information, is www.covid19.qld.gov.au/hub, HUB. Or you can text message 0480 000 782 and they will, and you write the word hi, and they will send you back links. Now, we've gone on this goose trail today. I've tried to have as much information for you, but it gives you steps. Are you a landlord? Are you a tenant? You push 1 if you're a landlord. What's your question? 1, 2, 3, 4. Question 1. Here's your response, 1, 2, 3, 4. It takes you down. It's very difficult to give you an overview of what they want you to do. It's a long, windy path. It says to me that they're still trying to find their way as well. So my understanding is this: if a tenant lost their job at any time, our process would have been they would have either said they're going to leave, or they would have said, I need to stay. If they say they're going to leave, which tenants can still do, and we're happy for, and you're happy for them to leave, then if both parties are happy, that can still happen. If a tenant says, no, I'm not happy to leave, we need to negotiate with them. They need to be fair, and the government's saying we need to be fair. Fair is a very funny word, very interesting word, but we're going to see. As long as both parties enter that in good faith, the government's saying that that's the spirit that they will be supporting. When those parties engage with each other, if they get an agreement, there's going to be paperwork that says this is just for this COVID-19 period, and then there'll be something that allows it to get back on track. What we cannot do is defer rent. They don't want tenants having a debt at the end of this. So there's a prohibition on tenants to be required to draw down on their superannuation. We can't ask them to go and sell assets like their cars, their beds, those sorts of things. Tenants do not have to pass over to us their personal information, their bank statement. However, the RTA, through this conciliation hub, they may need to provide it to them. They need to pay a fair and reasonable proportion of their income if they're receiving it. I don't know what fair and reasonable is. I've asked that question. But tenants cannot amass a debt. So that deferral to say, I'll pay later, the government said, no, you can't do that. So what we would need to do is come to an agreement with the tenant and with you. Each party would need to attend a compulsory conciliation. We would attend on your behalf if we cannot get an agreement. They have made changes. They were already alluding to this. Most people are comfortable with this. This is around safety and security and largely relates to domestic violence. So tenants can refuse us access or you access to your property, the one they're renting, for non-essential activities. Okay, so routine inspections, routine maintenance, they can refuse that. There's no requirement for parties or agents to do those during this time. There are new measures that also say that tenants who are victims of domestic violence can leave their lease within 7 days. If they want to stay, they can, because they want to keep someone out, they can change the locks, upgrade the security, all without approval from the landlord and their regulations that they have come in. In the cases where a tenant has extreme hardship and just wants to break the lease and go somewhere else, an example of this may be an international person who doesn't have a job and is not able to receive any of the benefits from the government. They're in extreme hardship. They can leave and break their lease within 7 days, and the landlord is only entitled to 1 week towards that break lease in favour of the tenant there. So information is held, I'll say it again, at www.covid19.qld.gov.au/hub, and that number again, 0480 000 782. In summary, I'm sorry for the length of this to you today, but I wanted to bring you right up to speed. That's the announcement that's come out today. Now, in our whole rent roll, we manage approximately 1,200 properties. Each morning, we're meeting as a group. Your property managers in the remote of their home are on a Google Hangout, so they are in the full view of each other. They are working harder remotely than we have ever worked. Of the 1,200 properties we manage, we currently have 60 tenants from 5 days to multiple days that are in arrears. So at 5 days, that's quite 5 to 8 days, that's quite normal. 8 to 15 days, and then 15 days plus. So we've got a total of 60, which represents 5% of the rent roll. Now, that's broken down as 24 are 15 days plus. The same number again, 24 is 8 to 16 or to 15 days, and then I believe 12 are sitting at 5 to 8 days. So about 50 sit above 8 days, and again, that probably of a rent roll of our size is a fair reflection of what's happening. We manage properties right across the area. So it's certainly given us comfort that tenants are looking towards paying their rent first, which of course they should, it's their shelter, but they're really engaging with that space. We've always run a conciliatory style of approach to tenants, and many of you I would have engaged with in that over the years. So we will be on the front foot with your tenant. We are engaging with them every day. You can reach out to me. I sent you a message a few weeks ago. Please talk to your bank or your preferred broker. Ours is Paul Hickson from Loan Market. Speak to your property manager. Ensure that if you need to, you can defer your loan, that you are on interest only, and you are engaging with the best rates that we've ever seen in the market. New ones this week at 2.09% is the cheapest that I've seen. So they are dropping by the day. I'm sorry for the length of this. I'll keep you updated as best I can. Thanks for tuning in.